there, friends. Today we are going to be working on the letter names of uppercase and lowercase letters. We are going to be looking at them together, and then we're going to play a game where you have to tell me the name of the letter. If you haven't yet watched my video on just uppercase letter names and just lowercase letter names, it might be a good idea to go back and watch that now. All right, let's get started. This is the letter Y. This is the uppercase Y, and this is the lowercase y. Notice that they look very similar. Y. This is the letter W. Say it with me. W. This is the uppercase W. This is the lowercase w. You can do that with me. You can trace it with your finger. Get out your finger. Let's make the uppercase W. Let's make the lowercase w. Awesome. This is the letter R. Say it with me. R. This is the uppercase R. Let's trace it. This is the lowercase r. Let's trace it. Say that with me. R. This is the letter N. This is the uppercase N. This is the lowercase n. Let's trace them. N, N. Notice that a lowercase n looks kind of like a U. When it's this way, it's a U. But when you turn it this way, it's an N. Say it with me. N. This is the letter Q. Say it with me. Q. Let's trace it. Q, that's the uppercase Q. Let's trace the lowercase q. Notice that the tail on the lowercase q sticks out behind it to the right. It's different than a lowercase g. A G has a longer tail that comes under it. See how they're different? G, Q. This is the letter Q. This is the letter V. The uppercase V is taller. The lowercase v is shorter. Let's trace them. Trace the uppercase V. V. Trace the lowercase v. V. That's the letter V. This is the letter P. Say it with me. P. This is the uppercase P. Trace it with me. This is the lowercase p. Trace it with me. Notice that they look very similar. Also remember that the P points down. Some of these letters, if you turn them a different way, become different letters. This is a P, but if you turn it this way, it's not a P. If you turn it this way, it's not a P. It's only a P when it points down. P. This is the letter M. Say it with me. M. Let's trace the uppercase M. And M has two bumps. Let's trace the lowercase m. M. Notice that the letter M is different than the letter N. M has two bumps. 1, 2. N only has one bump. This is the letter H. Say it with me. H. Let's trace it. H. That's the uppercase H. Let's trace the lowercase h. H. Remember that H has a stick. See that stick that sticks up? That's what makes it different than the letter N, which stops right there. No stick sticking up. See how they're different? H. This is the letter H. This is the letter A. Say it with me. A. Let's trace the uppercase A. A. Let's trace the lowercase a. A. Remember that A does not have a stick coming all the way up. That's what makes it different than the letter D. A. This is the letter B. Say it with me. B. Let's trace the uppercase B. The uppercase B has two bumps. Ready? B. This is the lowercase b. The lowercase b has a belly that sticks out in front of it. Do you see its belly? Remember, if you turn it this way, or this way, or this way, or that way, or that way, it's not a B anymore. It has to be this way with a belly and a stick that points up. Let's trace the lowercase b. Ready? B. This is the letter Z. The uppercase Z looks just like the lowercase z, but the uppercase Z is bigger. Let's trace the uppercase Z. Z. Let's trace the lowercase z. Z. This is the letter J. Notice that the uppercase J looks a lot like the lowercase j. Don't forget that the lowercase j has a dot. Let's trace the uppercase j. J. Let's trace the lowercase j. J. J is different than I. I does not have a tail that comes under. J has a tail. Do you see J's tail? This is the letter J. This is the letter S. Say it with me. S. The uppercase S looks just like the lowercase s. Let's trace the uppercase S. Ready? S. Let's trace the lowercase s. S. This is the letter X. The uppercase X looks just like the lowercase x. Let's trace it. X. Now let's do the lowercase x. Ready? This is the letter U. The uppercase U looks a lot like the lowercase u. Let's trace it. Uppercase U, lowercase u. Let's look at the lowercase u. When it's this way and open at the top, it's a U. But when it's this way, it's an N. See how they're very similar? You have to hold the letter the right way. If you turn it, it might become a different letter. U. letter E. Say it with me. E. Let's trace it. E. Let's trace the lowercase e. E. Say it with me. E. This is the letter L. Say it with me. L. Let's trace the uppercase L. L. Let's trace the lowercase L. L. Now I'm going to show you something super confusing. The lowercase L and the uppercase I are pretty much the same. Whoa, you have to know if it's an uppercase or a lowercase letter. If it's lowercase, it's the L. But when you have an uppercase letter and it looks like that with a straight stick, then it's an I. It's really confusing. Don't worry. Your teacher and your mom and your dad and your grown-up will help you figure it out when you see it. You'll learn this as you become a bigger and stronger reader. L. Let's trace the lowercase L. L. This is the letter D. Say it with me. D. Let's trace the uppercase D. D. Let's trace the lowercase d. D. I like to say that the lowercase d has a diaper. It sticks out behind it. Remember, it looks a lot like the letter B. But D has a diaper. B has a belly. D. This is the letter T. Say it with me. T. Let's trace the uppercase T. T. Let's trace the lowercase t. T. This is the letter I. Say it with me. I. Let's trace the uppercase I. Let's trace the lowercase I. Don't forget the dot. Also, sometimes the uppercase I looks like this, with a line at the top, a line in the middle, and a line at the bottom. This is the letter O. Say it with me. O. Let's trace the uppercase O. The lowercase o looks like the uppercase O, but shorter. Let's trace it. Oh, it's a circle. Oh. This is the letter G. Say it with me. G. Let's trace the uppercase G. Let's trace the lowercase g. G. Notice that G is different than Q. Q has a tail to the right. It sticks out behind it. G has a tail that goes to the left. It sticks out under it and it's longer. This one is G. This one is Q. Let's do it again. G. G. This is the letter C. Say it with me. C. A C makes a curve. Let's trace the uppercase C. C. Let's trace the lowercase c. C. This is the letter K. The uppercase K looks a lot like the lowercase k. Ready? Let's trace the uppercase K. K. Let's trace the lowercase k. K. uppercase K, lowercase k. K. Last one. This is the letter F. Say it with me. F. Let's trace the uppercase F. Let's trace the lowercase f. F. Great job. You've now practiced the uppercase and lowercase letters. You've learned all of their names and some of the things that make them tricky. You're super smart. How'd you get to be so smart? Because you've been practicing letters? Whoa, keep it up.